Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true.
Welcome to Night United, podcast about 8 seasons in a row. I'm Mr. Fernandez, and...
Hi, I'm your Playboy, Chris Wardna.
Hi. We're about to review the Playboy show. It is from season 8. It was directed by Michael McKean. This is his first ever directing opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
First time he ever directed a television series. He went on to do a lot more. Chris probably has facts about that coming up. And teleplay was by Ed Solomon. Ed Solomon, y'all.
Ed Solomon. I mean,
one of his...
my note literally is, how the fuck did the co-creator of Bill and Ted get in here?
This is one of his first ever jobs on television.
Mm-hmm.
This is how he ended up getting a foot in the door. I'm saying it there.
Yeah, but we have notes about him and Joan Marks. Yes.
Yeah, Joan Marks, who contributed the story. Solomon also contributed the story. To finish that up.
Sorry.
It's okay. And here's what the episode's about. At the request of Rhonda, who's busy performing in an experimental stage play, Romeo and Daisy May, Laverne heads to the soon-to-be-open Playboy Club to pick up a job application, encountering hypochondriac bunny mother Hillary and the chipperly enthusiastic singer Cathy. She soon talks herself into auditioning when she realizes that, for the millionth time, life working at Ajax is less than fulfilling. Both Laverne and Cathy make it to bunny training, and Laverne manages to pass the Squiggy test. But will a sharp competition, an encounter with Hef himself, and her father's disapproval keep her from hopping up the bunny trail and, even worse, endanger her new friendship with Cathy? Elsewhere, Frank tries to reconnect with his culinary pizza-laden roots when life running car by Bills gets him down. What do you think of this one?
Well, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
This is a perfectly okay episode. There's a couple of little details in here that make you like the Squiggy stuff is kind of retrogressive, but it's not as badly retrogressive as what follows it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But
I'll get to that soon.
I think part of what it is that's difficult to cover this episode today is, I think, all the stuff we know about Hugh Hefner and, kind of how many of the bad rumors from the past were confirmed.
Yeah.
Makes it interesting that a show as progressive and progressively feminist as Laverne and Shirley ends up kind of taking this step back into basically advertising the Playboy Club.
Yeah.
Essentially, this is a Playboy advertisement, in your primetime television.
Yeah. And Laverne's so giggly and happy about this. It's so weird. It's like a promotion for Hefner's lifestyle brand. It's like a promotion for Playboy clubs. I can see Laverne thinking that it would be really cool to be a Playboy bunny and to pose naked if her father didn't know anything about it. But she's way, way, way too excited about this, to be honest. And so is Cathy. It's like, you're both beautiful, smart, sensible women. You deserve better than this.
Exactly.
My honest thought.
Yeah.
We are doing this, by the way, at the foot of a huge documentary that A&E put out about a bunch of Playboy bunnies who told the truth about what happened at Playboy magazine offices and at the mansion. And a lot's been exposed now that Hefner is gone. And good to it.
Yep.
It's been exposed.
It's a very, and even to that end, actually, the co-writer of the story for the story by credit, Joan Marks, this was kind of the only, kind of like a minor dip into the business, because she had worked on drafts of this episode. She did she wrote an animated piece in the early 80s, and she produced a few projects, including A Bunny's Tale, which is the Kirstie Alley adaptation of Gloria Steinem's book.
Aha! I wonder if she is a consultant, ergo from sent down by Hefner. Well, it might be.
That's what I wonder. That's
possibly.
So, also a quick shout out to A Bunny's Tale, simply for the fact that it has Deborah Van Valkenburg in there, because I will always give shout outs to the gal from Warriors and Streets of Fire. But so there is that sort of cultural aspect to it, which is it's hard to avoid, and I don't want to skirt around it and then finally tackle it. It's just take it head on, because unfortunately, as an episode, this once again sort of suffers from one of the consistent problems of a very minimalistic story, a very simple plot, to the point that if not for the padding of physical comedy and some of the argument scenes, this could have been a 20 minutes or less episode. It's so tight. I'm curious what it was like working on this episode as a writer, and at the very least, as from the directing side, you can see that as we were talking, you commented about Squiggy's regressive aspect of how he goes back into the full squig, the way we used to know in the first couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Because of the fact it's Michael directing him to do that, and the way that Penny is performing Laverne, it makes me think that this is, three friends who've worked together for years, having fun, like doing something with these characters to them.
Yeah. I can kind of see that too, because that's like the best part of the entire episode, to be frank, even with Squiggy being disgusting and regressed. Because Laverne and Squiggy have known each other for centuries. She's like, be disgusting. Come on. You can't do it. You can't do it on demand. She's too familiar to him.
Yeah. Although I will say that line that he says, it's like, come on, you licked my arm 100 times. And it's like, that was different. You were asleep. And that just, God, I hate it. I hate it so much.
That's like the worst of the boys from the early seasons. So they're like, we're watching you sleep in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
This is a disgusting choice. It's a disgusting choice in a few ways. Yeah. So we opened on an obvious music substitution, which is
that's all caps. That's my note too.
Yeah, you can tell. And this one we can tell when they just nipped out one song and replaced it with another. I love Frank's attempts at trying to figure out what the heck is going on with him, why he's just so tired of these ribs, tired of, the whole Cowboy Bills thing.
Well, I was going to say, the whole aesthetic, it's like, even because that's the whole, it comes in, it's that next guy comes and says, that you on the bar? I'm going to bop him,
Like, to me, it feels like between the pizza thing and trying to get Laverne back into a low-paying kind of assembly line job, and it's like they're trying to take it back to the Milwaukee.
Sorry folks, and then guys, that train left the station 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, horses out of the barn. It is out of the barn.
It is off to the hills.
You can feel some of the regret here that they did certain things to the formula, and then they're trying to bring the formula back out of fear because we don't have Cindy to lean on anymore. We don't have the two-part chemistry.
Exactly.
With the girls.
Yep.
And it's even harder because we don't have the two-part chemistry with the boys. And then the ultimate magic of bringing the four of them together. And that's what makes it tough to get these episodes together sometimes. But, this isn't an awful experience. Notice, though, we are pressing the Rhonda has boobs button really hard over the past few episodes. And we're going to keep pressing it.
Yeah, we're going to keep pressing it. Yeah, it is, and don't get me wrong. Leslie had an amazing figure. I love there's a descriptor coming up for that in Jinxed that I think will definitely go down in history as a great descriptor of a vivacious vavoom woman. But she's more than that. And, when you see Leslie's comedic timing in her delivery and characterization here, she's so much more than that. I mean, she's more in the Monroe vibe where people believe that they're dumb when it's like, no, they're actually that smart to figure out how to make dumb that funny.
Yeah. In actuality, they're brilliant. There's brilliance going on there. Leslie has it in spades. She continues to have it in spades. The guy's whistling at Rhonda. She comes in. God. Audience, no. Bad.
Yeah.
Bad. I love Laverne's very flat. I love the classics. Hear about Romeo and Daisy May.
Yeah. Wherefore art thou y'all, Romeo? I do like it's an experimental theater piece, seeing what it's like to play to an empty theater. Yikes.
This ultimate combination of Shakespeare and Lil Abner could probably work. It could probably work somewhere. I think it really could. It sounds funny.
I don't know. Richard III is what really struck me as the Lil Abner of this, is of the poet's work.
Yeah. Well, I put forth Twelfth Night. 12th Night, or much ado about nothing. But
okay, yeah. I mean, I was saying that jokingly, but now that you mention Much Ado About Nothing, God, that would work amazingly.
Yeah, the romantic shenanigans. Yeah. Perfect. Any Shakespearean play with very, very hefty comedic timing and romantic sensibility will definitely score in a scene change like that. But yeah, I love Rhonda as an encouraging friend. It's so cool.
So good.
Yeah, they're finally friends, and Rhonda cares about Laverne and cares about her opinion. That's going to become more and more important. And I know the show is just doing this because Shirley isn't there anymore, but still, it's sweet, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, it kind of feels in a way, since Rhonda got so much better through season 7.
Yes.
It almost felt in a sense like this is that evolution of making her an enemy doesn't work.
Yes.
Because she's, there are some people that, some pairings that are better friends than enemies, and some pairings actor-wise that are better enemies than friends, and that's how it do.
Yeah, exactly. I think you do notice what they did to affect this, right? They are slowly but surely showing that Rhonda's career isn't that great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in season 6 and season 7, you get the impression that she's, at least seeing casting directors through illicit means, sadly, and that she's hobnobbing with certain people, and that she's getting somewhere perhaps in the B level. Here, she's doing black box theater work this season. Yeah, she's basically begging this agent to pay attention to her, and that's more the level she honestly needed to be on. I know that initially, I guess the plan was to make her the snobby rival on the level of Rosie in season 6, but that just didn't pan out because Leslie's too charming. So she ended up being a frenemy by the end of the season. So honestly, there should have been an episode that's a big revelation that Rhonda's not doing so well. She's actually doing all these little crummy parts because she doesn't want to go to the casting couch. Yeah. Something like that.
And that would have been actually a really good episode for not just her, but like for the boys, for the girls, for all of that. For the girls to be the ones to say, we need to get you a real job, and end up being the weird Deus Ex Machina is the boys. The boys have a connection that gets her in the right room with the right audition.
That would have been great. That's what we needed. Yep. So,
but that's I think kind of one of the issues with the concept of success within the context of this show is that there's belief is the joke stops being funny when someone succeeds. And that I find is really the wrong way to go about it, because what's funny isn't that they're in poverty. What's funny is the things that happen to them because they're in poverty.
Yes. And then when they get victories, it is like ice cream and candy. Like, look at Honeymoon Hotel.
Exactly. Yeah, great example.
They get that victory. They get that huge victory. Rosie has to step in, but it happens through friendship, and it happens through sticking together. All of them sticking together, every single one of them. Because they formed a team, the girls get to spend a whole weekend at a fancy hotel. And that's lovely. I like it better when they win. They don't have to lose all the time. That's why it's one of my favorites.
And that's where, they kind of try to have a bit of a land on both sides of the victory fence at the end of this one, where Laverne misses out, but she did make a new friend. The problem is that the friend never pays up, it never comes back. It never returns in any way.
Sadly, no. Though Carrie and Penny would always be important in each other's lives, because obviously the lovely Miss Cathy is played by Carrie Fisher.
Yes.
Yay!
We love you, Space Mama.
We love you, Space Mama. Glitter for Space Mama. Penny and Carrie had been best friends for ages and ages and ages and ages and ages, and they continued to be best friends until Carrie tragically passed away. They used to have joint birthday parties together. They used to spend a lot of time together because at one point Penny was dating Art Garfunkel, and Carrie was married to Paul Simon. And at one point, God, at one point,
I'm sorry that. Because I've heard that Art and Paul hated each other's guts after a while.
Oh, this is the best part. Okay, at one point, because the two of them were, close friends, they managed to get Art in the apartment with Paul, and they basically manipulated the two of them into singing together. It was great. That's great. Yeah, I think Art was a Penny's date to Carrie's wedding to Paul Simon. I think.
Wow.
I think. I can't quite remember.
That'd be cool.
I cannot quite remember, but I think that was true. But yeah, they were best friends for ages and ages and ages. And Carrie always said that was because they weren't interested in the same men, and they weren't interested in the same drugs.
Right.
That was her quote on it.
I love that, because they weren't able to argue over it, essentially.
Yep. Exactly.
I love
Basically,
that.
they weren't in competition for each other. They were in competition for the drugs they wanted, and they were in competition with the guys they wanted. So hey, this is how it works. That's they became best friends. Also, per Penny's autobiography, during the taping of this episode, that was when her daughter Tracy went off to college. Penny saw her off at the studio, hugged her, and then Carrie made a crack about how Tracy needs to study hard so she will be like her mother. Her fine, successful, talented mother standing there. They were staying there in their Playboy
Oh my
waitress
gosh.
outfits. This was happening.
Oh,
I
that's
think
okay.
complete with the bunny ears. Yeah, and the tails.
Oy, boy.
Oh gosh, that's life.
It is. But that's the but coming back to it, I mean, that's kind of the thing about an episode like this is that it's unfortunate how as these little sparks of joy,
Yes.
like Carrie Fisher, like Laverne's, making a new friend, like Rhonda, and the resolution to the Frank thing I found actually kind of cool because it got to a point of realizing, wait a minute, he owns this particular franchise. There's nothing that tells him that he can't sell the pizza. He doesn't have, at least at this time,
Yeah,
So,
I mean, that McDonald's franchisees do this to this day. They have region-specific food they'll sell there.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, and they, they'll test market stuff. But also, I know there are some McDonald's out there that sell pizza, that sell Mexican food, that sell tacos. It's interesting. It's cool. So, enter hypochondriac bunny mother Hillary.
Yes, played by Marcia Rod, a legendary stage and screen actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she was actually nominated for a Tony Award in '73 for the play Shelter.
Oh, that's cool. That's incredibly cool. I wonder who cast her. She does do a good job in this little role. Her hypochondriac character is pretty darn funny. She's standing there desperately spraying the spot where Squiggy sat in Lysol. And,
right. Yeah. Just and like the cold fever line and the and everyone trying to say that it like you have to make her happy by telling her she looks terrible and everything's going wrong. Yeah.
My favorite part about that gag is when they tie a bow on it by having her approach them when they're all dressed up, prepared to duel to the death over this job. She says, "Hi, girls," and they go, "Hi, Hillary, you look terrible." And she goes, "Thank you."
Right. Oh yeah.
That's
great.
A cute one. That's a great one.
Yeah, I actually really, now that having seen her and liked her in this and finding out she was in Little Murders, the Elliot Gould film from the early '70s. I would love to see her in that.
Hi, something to watch.
And she's still working today, by the way.
Hey, it's awesome. Good on her.
She was in an episode of Hunters for Amazon Prime this year, but
oh wow, cool.
Sorry, in 2023, I should specify, because by the time we don't know when this episode's going to go up. I'm going to give up trying to guess when these episodes go out anymore. But
that's life. Sadly, it's life. Life's gonna be life.
But yeah, no, the Hillary character is another highlight for the episode to me because I like that she is this interesting matron that actually is like such a bundle of nerves. I love that it makes her almost calm everyone around her down in the process.
Yeah. She's constantly flying off the handle trying to avoid germs, but also make sure the girls are smiling and make sure they're doing the bunny bends and make sure that their butts aren't touching things and make sure that, doing all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And it contrasts well with the fact when Hugh himself shows up later in the episode, he does a total straight man act. Yeah. And it does it pretty admirably, actually, but it's, it's a good contrast with it. And yeah, it's Hillary is definitely bunny mother Hillary is definitely one of the bits that I enjoyed. I do also have to mention she, let me see if I can find the note because I wrote this down. That's right. Time to practice our bunny manners. Now, having friends who have bunnies, my thought was, so you hop, you poop randomly, and you munch on cables and shoelaces.
Yep. And sometimes you binky when you're really happy.
This is true.
And you chew hay. You do stuff like that. My friend Sammy has a bunny, and she takes very, very good care of her bunny. But her bunny has much sass and much spirit.
Yeah, my friend Lizzie has a few. Oh God, I think she has like 3 or 4 actually.
Oh goodness! Oh my goodness! All those bunnies together. Oh man.
I think it's 2 in one cage, and then I think Koopa and Buster are in the same cage, and then there's 1 or 2 others. But yeah, definitely in that.
I was going to ask how there's no baby bunnies, but I presume she's the same sex as them.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, the bunny manners and that whole
Yes.
element and flap the helm. I'm trying to go through the notes, and
Yeah.
I'm feeling like kind of because of the fact that this episode, like, we're just trying to find something to grasp onto, to talk about intelligently.
That's funny.
It's I do love also the before we get too far ahead into the actual like bunny auditions and everything, I love the 70s exterior building. Like
Yeah,
1967 my butt. It is
we've given up. We're just throwing the stock footage on. Nobody cares. Nobody cares anymore.
And now mind you, some of those buildings were probably built in the 60s because they look a little bit like the one that was in that oh god, what was that really crappy movie we watched with the Mads with the spy film, the one I really hated.
Yeah, the spy film. Oh god, I can't remember the title, but I know it was just mock James Bond down to the wall.
Right. Oh yeah. And
yeah.
But I remember some of the buildings looked like this particular Playboy building, but I would not be surprised if this was a 70s construction. So yeah, there's those wonderful little wonderful anachronisms just because of the fact that, it's just you try to have a good time with these things at this point. It's season fucking 8. We're just trying to do the best we can here.
Yeah, we
Got
haven't
some
even
slack.
hit the doldrums.
Yeah.
We hit one of the doldrums, and some more doldrums are coming. And like, because it's a tolerable episode, like we keep saying. I love Laverne talking herself into applying while she's conversing with Cathy. The chemistry between Carrie and Penny is so easy and so well wrought.
10 out of 10. So good. That's my note. It's just so good. I do love my note when Carrie pops into the scene. She comes late to the sign up, and I marked it as, aha, the lifeline put right on cue to say the fact they don't have many laughs from the audience. Sorry, Michael. I don't know if you listen to our pod, but I'm sorry.
You, Michael. Yeah, there is one really great picture of him directing that's on Getty. That's the only picture of him on the set for this particular episode. And
you've shown me that picture, yes.
He looks so tired. Tired.
Yeah. He looks tired and done.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked,
I would not be also surprised if at the same time he was prepping for Spinal Tap. So he was probably... So he was bouncing back and forth. Yeah.
He was doing it simultaneously. He was doing all that at the same time. And the reason why he's not in this season as much is because he's off doing Spinal Tap.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, because that's right. They had to actually go play real shows and get the footage for that movie. So.
Oh yeah, they did real gigs. They filmed in certain places to affect these big concerts, and they actually sold tickets to the public for some of them. The big fake Japanese concert at the end of the movie is a real concert they sold tickets to.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The commentary tracks are very informative on the Criterion release of Spinal Tap. The fact that this movie is both on the film preservation registry, and on Criterion says all you need to know about how Michael made the right choice.
Indeed you do. So the talking into it, it's very Laverne. I want to mention, by the way, that it's very Laverne, even though she's going talking about on account of my dinky little birdie ankles.
Yeah.
Which even my mom was like, she has great legs. What are you talking about?
She has amazing legs, man.
But the it's also very Laverne, I think, at this time, which is interesting to see someone. It's like without Shirley as her stopgate, Laverne's insecurity is starting to come back.
Yeah, and also
because it feels
poor choice making.
Right, that too. Yeah, that fits because you have. It's almost like when Shirley was around. When Shirley was around, Laverne felt safer to put herself out there on her own, as in like she would just snap and make that decision. Whereas here, I'm noticing so far, it's taking her time to sort of think around some of it. Now, obviously, in the next episode, that doesn't happen. Yeah. But that's because the fact, again, she believes that she has this inflated belief that there's a sense of security in the choices that she's making.
She starts making worse and worse and worse choices until finally this hits rock bottom in a couple episodes, and then it just they have to. It's like they have to reverse it because they went too hard in the paint. With her being, the easy Laverne jokes, with them overdoing the easy Laverne jokes, and they made her dumber, and they make her dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber until we get to the point where something terrible happens to her, and the show refuses to play to something terrible. So, It's just like a terrible devolution.
I feel like I'm doing one of those looks like in The Office where they look at the camera just like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's terrible. It is horrid. I loved I'm Going to Lie. Yeah, just try to get
Right. And that's always a good idea. Always a good idea. And then she's writing it on Kathy's back. I thought was really cute.
that was so cute. Like I said again, the friendship chemistry here is incredible. I love that they actually pay the money for My Guy so that Carrie Fisher isn't sitting there miming to nothing on this DVD.
Right. I'm very glad for that. Yes.
We get to hear My Guy multiple times in this episode, and Carrie sings very well.
Well, she is Debbie's daughter after all.
Oh yeah, them jeans coming up, and Eddie.
And Eddie. Yeah. We try not to talk about Eddie.
Yeah, we don't talk about him like we don't talk about Bruno.
Except Bruno was worth talking about.
Hey, you're Italian, Jewish, same thing. And that is such a deep cut because Penny was constantly mistaken for a Jewish kid when she was growing up. She went to kosher camp.
Oh my gosh.
This was the only camp that was available to them price-wise.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's why she started drinking milk and Pepsi. She was going to kosher camp, and they would be having soda with their meals. She wanted soda with her meals. But her mother would go, "You can't have soda until you drink your milk." So Penny would be drinking the milk, and she'd drink down the milk, and their mother would sometimes just pour the Pepsi on top of the milk without pouring out the rest of the milk she had there. Sometimes there would be more milk than Pepsi, sometimes more Pepsi than milk, and that's how she got into it.
Wow, today I learned. Holy cow.
yeah, that's how it happened. That's how it happened.
We did skip over, I'm sorry to back up, Pop's reaction.
Yeah, Pop. Frank is so done. He is so done with the situation.
I do love him coming in. This is another highlight of the episode. You know,
Yes.
Pop comes in just as she's gotten the interview, the trial, and she goes, "I'm so glad to see you." And she gives him a hug, and he starts to leave, and she goes, "Wait a second, what happened? Well, I don't hug that bad."
Aw, which is adorable. Super adorable.
Yep.
And then, Frank's miserable because he can't find that spark that he's lost. And then he finds out his daughter is about to be flagging her butt around the Playboy Club, and he's like, no.
Yep.
No. Old-fashioned protective Italian dad Frank returns after seasons of him being gone.
Yes.
But
yeah, I did. Yeah, my mother did have to point out the pinup remark about be a buddy, see if I care. But if I ever see you in a barber shop with a staple between your belly button, I'll give you the boom chicka boom boom.
Tisk 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 dad Frank. And he's altered. Oh, it was that I didn't miss the jokes about him beating Laverne. That I didn't miss. I will say that.
Yeah.
Because she's almost 30. Just give it up, Frank. Actually, this season is when he does give it up, even without the idea of her being married to an Italian guy.
Yeah.
It's a great joke coming up.
Well, it's also a case of it's at this point. I mean, yeah, you're right. She's 30, and look at what good a shape she's in. If he tried to slug her, she'd break his fucking hand.
Oh yeah, God, Penny's especially muscular in this season too. I didn't know
she really is. Oh yeah. Now she was working out, doing the mom thing, running the show, doing all this.
I think this is when she was training for Challenge of a Lifetime to look like a marathon runner.
Oh, that figures. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so sorry. We get into the actual tryouts now. Carrie's singing My Guy. Real nice guy he got there on the coat rack, and he's altered. Okay. So the Mary and Ice doctor, and then the bartender goes, I'm going to med school on nights, and it's like, who asked you? And that is Tom Turbovic again.
I was going to mention him. Hi, Tom, showing up again in the bit part, and he's pretty funny in this. Gotta give him credit for being funny in this in the background. I love Squiggy's outfit. I love Squiggy's leather jacket. I will say that.
My mother had to point out the weird wing flaps hanging off of his jacket. I mean, I realized all of a sudden when she pointed out he looks like a bat.
Yeah, that's intentional. I think that is a leftover jacket from a pinup that he and Michael did as Lenny and Squiggy. That's in the middle of the Lenny and the Squigtones album.
Oh, that's awesome.
Where they're dressed up like Frankenstein's monsters.
Oh,
Lenny's Frankenstein's monster and he's Dracula.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's so good. That's so them. I love it. And and then Squiggy comes in. It's like Hillary is ready to train them all. I've brought in someone obnoxious and rude, and I think I found the perfect specimen. Hello.
Perfect hello gag.
Yep.
Perfect hello gag.
And then his response when he's, I know that L, and that doesn't stand for Larry. Laverne, what are you doing here?
He is so horrified. He's so horrified that once again the girls are doing something rather untoward that he wouldn't have them do with their bodies. It's endearing in a way. I am trying to be a playboy. He's just so very proud of himself that he's trying to be a playboy. He's going to get to ski. He will get to see these girls all the time.
No, he will not. Oh God.
Yeah, I know. Sadly, he will not. You can see David is riffing all to hell.
Oh yeah.
He is
Yeah,
just,
he's
yeah.
he's having too much fun. Too much fun.
Yeah, he's just having fun with the material. The interrupted monologue is a pretty big sign of that. Out there for himself having a little bit of fun.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to disgusting, this guy is the best.
Put your real rabbit feet on the table and let me rub them for luck. And then he does the licking. And that's where Tom's best joke in the episode comes from.
Tom actually did make me laugh there. Gotta give him credit for that.
Yeah, because Carrie goes over. So basically, once Squiggy horrifying Carrie Fisher, which, by the way, the fact that David Lander got to lick Carrie Fisher's arm, not gonna lie, a little jealous about that.
Hey. To be honest, though, that's just like his friend. Like he's known her forever at that point.
I'm sure, yeah. Oh, yeah, like because didn't they both audition for Star Wars?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah. Everybody in the town was auditioning for Star Wars at some point.
Oh my God. But anyway, so Carrie, grossed out, goes over to the bar and looks at the booze that the bartenders poured out. What is this? Whiskey. Perfect. And she uses it to sterilize the lick on his arm.
He licked me. The way she says he licked me in horror to Laverne is funny. I will say that much. And
I do love Laverne's, probably just slow it down, but don't worry, he's not too infectious.
She's known him for too long and knows what he's about and what he has done. My little gerbil. That's pretty funny.
That's cute. Yes.
I'm a valley boy.
No, I'm a valley boy.
The way David delivers these lines is great. And then of course, we lead into Laverne desperately trying to get him to be pervy. He refuses to be pervy. He has a total breakdown.
Yeah, I can't be rude in front of all these people.
He has a complete breakdown and, goes, okay, this is incredible. I don't know if David improvised this, but every time it happens, I do laugh. I'm a man who looks at the pictures and pretends to read the interviews.
I'm sorry, but I'm a failure. Oh, Lord, please forgive me.
Good. It's so good.
Goodness.
I love him so much.
And I will have to say that I don't think I'll use this anyway except completely facetiously as a joke, but I want to take your breakfast out to lunch. It's decent.
Yeah. And it can mean multiple things if you really, really think about it. If you really think hard.
Well, I mean, if you have hams for breakfast, then you could be just referring to the hamstrings. You could be referring to the butt, the buttocks, the chestica bubica.
Chestica bubica, joy. Yeah.
So we move past the training sequence to proper Hefner inbound, and down to the last two trainees. I hate to say it. They look amazingly cute in their outfits. And even my mom, begrudgingly was like, she does look great in the outfit. How much tighter does it have to be classified as skin?
At least 1 more inch closer to the skin. But it's pretty close there, to be frank. That's a great question. That's a great joke. The whole thing is funny.
Yeah. Isn't it great? Yes. And they're both grinning.
And my note on that was, in all caps, catering to the male gaze is fun.
Oh, God.
Exactly. That's our message. That's the message.
It's true. Yeah, I'm getting Anna Biller flashbacks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then, oh God, why are they so excited to meet this perv?
Yeah. Yeah.
They are both ride or dying for each other pretty hard here, which is real nice.
It's very cute.
And the tail bit is kind of funny.
The tail bit's cute.
Kind of fun.
Yeah, it's a cute touch. Yeah.
I wet myself.
Yeah. I admit it is efficient, but it's not very bunny image.
Bunny Mother Hillary is so here for the gossip, though. She wants to know which one of these girls she's going to can. She's really excited there.
I think she is, yeah. Because I think it's a case of, there's so many women that try to fight and claw their way to the top. I think she just, after a point, you have to start learning to love your job.
Hey. And the way each of them kind of flunks a different part of it, and what sinks it is the fact that Cathy has a skill. Cathy totally has a skill that is usable and something that she brings it to the club that is unique and can be built upon. So that's a nice message in all of this ridiculousness, filth, and kind of odd messaging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a wild one. But hey, on the bright side, we get to hear Carrie Fisher sing. And
Twice.
and by the way, there's that extra again, 2 sightings in the same season, and that is not the
Yeah.
last time we will see him this year.
Yeah, we have certain Laverne and Shirley extras that are the same as the Happy Days extra. They don't need peaceable background actors to Cowboy Bill's background actors, and now they just show up in like scenes like here where they're in the middle of the Playboy Club, trying not to gawk at this ridiculousness.
Right. But yeah,
Yes.
as you're saying, the ride or die is very cute. I especially love Laverne, like, helping put her on the piano and crossing her legs. It's very, very cute.
It's adorable. I really actually do adore it. I love how Laverne basically just gets over the entire situation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't care anymore by now because she's gonna go sit in a jacuzzi with Hef, which oh dear.
Yeah, that's got
no.
implications today. Yeah, my note is vomit, and my mother gasped when I was watching this episode to take notes, and she gives me this look of that reads differently now.
Oh yeah, your mom is very correct. May you what? I did like I've already made too many decisions today. That did make me laugh a little bit.
It's a good chuckle. Yeah, it's one of those. If it wasn't Hugh Hefner saying it, probably a lot funnier.
Yeah, pretty much. He is a mediocre actor here.
He's all right.
Fairly. Yeah. My all caps note on this is do not go in his jacuzzi, Laverne.
Yeah.
Of course, eating is one thing I do well. Is pretty funny as well. I gotta give credit for that.
Yeah. And then Papa gonna make it the pizza. And then, and it's fine. God, that was a weird tag scene. Okay, so that kind of wraps up the majority of what we got here. So, all right, so I'll quickly cover the last little bit of kind of director notes and the like, which is that, yes, indeed, Michael McKean directed this episode. And I feel bad saying that it's pretty much just kind of a ho-hum sort of episode. But I think given all that he was working with, and then, it's his first real outing for TV. I mean, he did more down the line.
A lot.
I will cut him a lot of slack for that. And I am one of those people that always will say, and I stand by this because I've experienced it in every single medium that I've ever tried, every single time I've ever tried to make, a jump to a different type of film. Your first movie always sucks. Just period. You just learn to live with it. If you direct something, it's going to suck. And that's okay. Yeah. What you do is you get Rodriguez was right. Get it out of the way and then go make better ones. That's the thing. Yeah. And
these episodes of Tracy Takes On are very good, I will say.
Right. I was going to say 5 episodes of Tracy Takes On, a few episodes of Dream On, which figures, as well as Morton and Hayes as well.
Yes. And the Rich Hall Show.
Yes. Yeah. That was the other one.
Yes.
So the one I also wanted to talk about behind the camera, though, of Ed Solomon. So as we mentioned, this is the Bill and Ted guy, and not just Bill and Ted. I mean, this guy has done some fantastic work. He was one who did a lot of the breaking on the first Men in Black film. He also worked on some other TV shows and things of the like. He's still working today. He's still active on Twitter. He's talked about this episode off and on over the years, and I will also give him tons of credit for No Sudden Move, that recent and now buried Steven Soderbergh film, which I thought was fucking excellent. And I am so pissed off that it got Zasleved really hard into the vault. But as you said, this was literally the beginning of his career, practically. This is the first on-screen credit. So he probably was in writers' rooms and uncredited, but I mean, this is basically it. And it's the first of 3 episodes he has for the show, including a rather infamous one coming up, if I recall. But he ended up then moving on to the Gary Shandling show in '86 as a consultant, likely through connections made here, because a lot of folks from Laverne and Shirley's last few years ended up working on Gary Shandling. And he seemed to kind of keep at that for a while whittling away with his writing partner, what would eventually become Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which blew him and his co-writer up into the big time. So, I was saying about, don't worry about it. The first one's always going to suck. I think this also falls under that category. Like, don't, Ed, frustrated, but I won't hold this one against you.
The episode that he has coming up after this is even worse, and I won't blame him for it because there's a lot of writers on it. It's really bad, but we'll get there. this is a good launching pad for him, and he does make it up into the stratosphere to make some great stuff. There is not a single bad Bill and Ted movie. I think that's amazing.
Yep. Oh yeah. But it's a case of, all together, Playboy show, season 8, ho-hum, spot of bother, bit of a distraction. I mean, it probably did well back in the day, given this is a way to have a little TNA on TV. But
Yeah.
aside from some highlights, I mean, it's all right.
Yeah. Does that mean we're at ranking time?
We're at ranking time, man. What are we doing?
This is a 6. It's okay. This is what we know what's coming after this, and we know how bad that is.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the context of season 8, in the context of the show, in the context of it's okay. It's not bad. It's worth it to simply sit there and look at the context of this being capturing a friendship in a bottle, capturing Penny and Carrie's friendship on film. And I think that's a lovely reason for it to exist.
Exactly. It's the same reason why, bringing up another Soderbergh film, it's why I don't begrudge the Ocean's 11 sequels. Because it's a bunch of actors that love working together, having a good time making movies. And we get to be along for the ride.
Yeah. That's always a good enough excuse to make something, especially this part of the season. And I think it's a worthwhile jaunt. And it's probably one of the episodes that you should watch in a season filled of episodes where you can skip or take on.
Put it into a hole and bury it alive under concrete. Anyway.
That's the next episode.
So anyway, I'm going to agree that I was wanting to say a 4 or 5, but you know what? Carrie Fisher, it's getting a 6. The My Guy bit, and there's too many. I have pointed out too many highlights to not give it like a 5.5 to a 6. But yeah, so yeah, all right, but I guess that covers it for today.
Yeah, I think it does.
All right, well, cool. All right, we'll have a quick word from our sponsor, Ronsers, a little out there in the darkness, and go ahead and stick around. We'll be talking about what madness is coming up next, which, oh boy, next one's going to be a beast, so definitely stay tuned for what's coming up. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us for Night After Night. And if you would like to know more, then please join us at Night After Night PC on Twitter or Night After Night Pod, wherever major podcasts could be found, such as on YouTube, and on Patreon, or on the Tumblr, the Facebooks, or we're actually did you know we're on Amazon Podcasts now? Gasp! Is that great?
So cool.
It's so cool. But
watch out, we'll invade Instagram next. Ooh.
Oh no! Oh God! No! I mean, I like Instagram. It's a decent. I'm gonna get off track. Okay. Anyway, so with all that, okay. So now So we've had our sex. What do we have next week?
Death. Laverne falls into the bad crowd, a Ralph-tastic crowd, if you will, of revolutionaries with guns akimbo. Pretty soon her life is on the line and only Lenny and Squiggy can save it. This is Death Row Parts 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not going to be bad in any way. I'm sure it's going to be perfectly normal and just another way of the show dipping into the strange side of like a bit of noir and political thriller and all of that, yet somehow balancing it with a darkly comedic touch and not at all some acid trip through ideas and twists and turns that make you question everything about why you trusted a television show.
You're making it sound way better than it is. Oh.
That was the joke.
I know real fast, and I know.
All right, well, join us for Death Row, everybody, and at the very least, maybe we'll get an NBK-style prison break at the end.
Hey. Bye, y'all, and remember, if you spill a little bit of milk, don't cry over it, use your butts.